They didn't throw a caution. Good job, NASCAR. Get a slow clap for that one. Now that we got that out of the way, that's your 2025 Daytona 500, ladies and gentlemen. And William Byron is your back-to-back winner. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, I think it was pretty well deserved. He was up front most of the day. Made a good line choice, and he survived the last lap chaos. And NASCAR didn't throw the caution when Riley Herbst went through, or he didn't go through the grass. Spun out in the tri-oval on the last lap, or taking the white flag, and again they didn't throw it on the back stretch, which I don't think that would have mattered if they had. I think he was pretty much he wasn't going to have any competition from Reddick, because I think Reddick got hit by Hamlin. But it's the principle. It's the whole principle of it. I'm glad they kept the yellow flag down and threw the checker flag, and I think most people can be happy with that. Good job, NASCAR. One more slow clap. One more slow clap. All right, so let's get on to the actual race itself. The race was really good, I felt. Personally, I enjoyed it. It was not boring. It looked like there was a lot of... it was very reminiscent of classic Daytona 500s for me. The racing was good. There wasn't a surefire line. It looked like the middle line worked really well, and then the top line would work. The bottom line, per usual, was your preferred line. But there's some good racing. Sometimes the high side came through and made a charge, and there wasn't any freight training, which I was happy to see. And I think most people can be. So that was a good Daytona 500. I enjoyed it overall. For me personally, it would have been dampened if four of those five drivers were leading at the end after the Logano and Stenhouse accident. I was pretty bummed. I was pretty sure that I was going to be really unhappy personally. Now, we're not here to talk about who we like and who we don't. We're just talking about the race in general. So yeah, William Byron wins. And second is Tyler Reddick. Third, Jimmy Johnson. My only prediction of the weekend that I was actually right about. Jimmy Johnson finishes third over Chase Briscoe. John Hunter Nemechek finishes fifth. Alex Bowman sixth. Seventh is Blaney, who's kind of comes back after that first wreck. Again, getting screwed over by Logano. Cindric finishes eighth. Allgaier comes through in the top 10 for JRM in their first outing in the Cup Series. So I'm glad to see that. And then Chris Buescher rounds out the top 10. Other notable drivers, Chase Elliott finishes 15th. That does not reflect on how well he was tonight. He was up in the top 3 or 5. He was in that top pack all night. And then he just chose to get behind Bubba, and that car was not handling good. He couldn't keep it straight, so they couldn't bump draft him. And ended up getting shuffled to the back and then getting even more screwed by, again, the Stenhouse and Logano mix-up. So, really upsetting. That's usually how Chase's Daytona 500s go, I feel like. But, yeah, he had a fast car. Corey LaJoie, who I was really hoping was going to pull a huge upset. I know he's not as popular as he was because of some of his moves he's made, but I think most people would have liked to have seen that. I was pulling for him. But he missed the block on, I can't remember if it was Cindric or Hamlin, but he missed the block, and I don't know if he was just, it might have been a good decision, might not been, but he gave it away with that and ended up getting taken out in that last wreck. Denny Hamlin, who looked like he had a very good shot of winning his 4th Daytona 500, finishes 24th, and Kyle Busch, my pick to win, gets DNF, finishes 34th. So we're hoping year 21 might be the year that shines for Kyle. So that sucks. That prediction did not come true. It looked very possible. He actually got involved in 2 wrecks, but it looked very possible there at the end, which is going to go ahead and bring us into our next topic. Of course, we're going to talk about it. the Stenhouse and the Logano accident. Now, most people who know me know how I feel about Logano. Can't stand him. He's probably one of the biggest wastes of talents, in my opinion, out there. Who is just okay. Let me retract that. I think he's got talent, or else he wouldn't be where he was. But when he's on the restrictor plate, super speedway race, whatever you want to call him, he's a menace, and he's dangerous. But when he gets wrecked at Richmond, he gets to throw a fit. But it really wasn't his fault. That was more of a Stenhouse. It's really more Stenhouse's fault than Joey's. But I think Kyle Busch summed it up pretty well. Dude should know how big his car is. And I don't know what he was thinking. It looked like he did let off. And, but it's still just one of those moves. Like, why are you trying to fit your car in that spot? If it's the last lap, I get it. But you still have 10 laps to go. And it's just classic Logano. Stenhouse cleared himself. Shouldn't have done that. Again, Stenhouse being an idiot too. So both of them are at fault. More Stenhouse than Logano, but I dislike Logano more. So if I sound like I'm digging on Joey, I am. But really, in an unbiased opinion, that was mainly Stenhouse's deal. Classic though. Feels like every year it's either Logano or Stenhouse that causes a wreck that ends up screwing other drivers up. But we're not going to focus on that too much. It is what it is. For me, it sucked because it took out my top 3 favorite drivers. I was literally at a position at one point where my 3 favorite drivers are out of the race pretty much, even though Ryan ends up finishing 7th. Chase still finishes in top 15. And a very real possibility of all my least favorite drivers, one of them was going to win it. Didn't happen because they're all aggressive drivers for the most part. But if you follow me on Instagram and you see my tier list, you would probably have laughed, especially if you don't like me or like who I go for. But we're not going to focus on that too long. Let's talk on more of the positive notes. Jimmie Johnson finishing 3rd. That's a good one. And then here we are to... we got to talk about the Priest incident, of course. Another scary wreck that he gets involved in where his car goes airborne. I don't know why these cars fly like airplanes. I'm not a scientist, but I think it has something to do with those diffusers in the back and just the way they're built. They make intermediate races fun. They look like they've improved on them. But as far as safety goes, there's still something about it that makes these cars like fly a lot easier than the Gen 6s. So I hope NASCAR can figure that out. I know that's a pretty tall order, but I'm glad he's okay. Glad Christopher Bell is okay too. That was a pretty hard hit at an awkward angle. I hope those guys don't have any concussions or anything or any lasting effects. But yeah, that's pretty much the last negative thing to talk about. And of course, our stage winners was Logano and Blaney. I probably should do this in a more orderly fashion. But of course, Blaney, once again, I think that's like the 2nd or 3rd time he's won stage 2 and ends up not winning the race. So that sucks for him. But anyways, the overall race, like I said, was a great race. I enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought of it. And that's being non-biased. I still would have said it was a good race if Hamlin or Custer or who else? Not Priest. Yeah. Riley Herbst had won. I would have been pretty upset. But overall, the race was really good. That felt like a Daytona 500. And for some reason, what I've noticed is when a 500 seems to be delayed by rain or some type of delay, it ends up being better. That may just be in my head. May not be anything accurate to that. But that's just what I saw. But anyways, that's pretty much it. I don't think I can talk about much else. Braylon Byron's your 2025 Daytona 500 champion. And NASCAR kind of, I think, learned from their lesson of at least the dual race. But anyways, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for taking your time and watching. And we will see you on the next episode of Rippin the Fence. Peace out, guys.